Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hawk Experience Podcast. I am Ian Victor, your host. Before I start this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos. All right. It has been a week. I know free agency just passed. I'm going to talk about that in my next video. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this next mock draft that I have done. Because we are officially a month away from this draft. By the time this video gets released, it'll be 29 days. But as I start to begin processing of what the Seahawks need, I feel like the offensive line is going to be addressed in the draft since it did not get addressed in free agency. I'm going to talk about that in my free agency recap because I will be honest with you, that has me kind of drained. It has me kind of drained. But as we start to get closer to the draft, I might release two more. I might release one next 2 weeks, and then I'll release one. I'll release a final one a few days before the draft, or maybe the week of the draft. But hey, let me show you what I had cooking. Okay, so I ended up doing some trade back or whatnot with this mock draft on PFN. I'm not gonna make this video too long, and I'm gonna just go by this quick. So at pick 19, I took my green. I know there has been some character concerns, some allegations that have came up, about him. But he has came out and said that if any team that wanted it to know like what actually happened, he said that he is willing to talk about it, behind the scenes or whatnot. And in this first pick, I ended up trading back. And not only that, I feel personally that I think that the Seahawks will take best player available. I know everybody wants to take an offensive lineman at 18. Everybody wants to take, Gray Zabel or Donovan Jackson. But me personally, in my opinion, I like to take best player available because the last couple of years, the Seahawks have been not been drafting best player available. I know like the past 2-3 drafts that they have, but I say like after the Super Bowl runs, they just got too cute and decided not to take best player available, and they actually missed out on some talent, good talent. And not only that, this could be your best chance to actually get at least a blue chip player. Because I know this draft is more so trenches. So the reason why I took Mike Green, I liked what I saw from Marshall. He had a double digit sacks or whatnot. And when you look at this edge group here in Seattle, Leonard Williams is not getting any older. You added DeMarcus Lawrence, which he's in his upper 30s. You got Boye Mafe, who I am not comfortable paying Greg Russo type of money, and Derek Hall is in the third year of his rookie deal. And then you got Uchenna Nwosu, who's kind of starting to be injury prone. So you add a guy like Mike Green here at 19. Like, this could be an opportunity to get you a blue chip player. And not only that, I know Leonard Williams had double digit sacks as an interior defensive tackle, but you haven't had any double digit sacks from like an edge or the outside linebacker since Frank Clark. So, like an edge like Mike Green, that could potentially give you a chance to get you a double digit sacks from the edge, and plus, it can take the defense to the next level. But there are other picks here. So, pick 50, I took Mason Taylor. I loved Mason Taylor's tape at LSU. He is a good catcher, but he's not a good blocker. I know that could something that could be developed, but that is the worry about him. That is that he's not a good blocker. But if you can like put him more so on like a receiving type, especially in this new offense that Clint Kubiak is running, I can see Mason Taylor being a good player for this team. All right, so 52. I took Jaden Higgins. We know that DK just got traded. We brought in Cooper Kupp. We know we added it in VS, but you you gotta have at least that X factor type. Jaden Higgins, 6'4", 205, 215, or whatnot. And I think he could be something that DK couldn't be. I know everybody in the fan base loves DK. I wanted it to keep DK on this team, but hey, business is business. And I like what I saw on tape from Jaden Higgins. All right. 89, I took Chase London from UConn. He's going to have to kick inside. I'm going to tell you that right now. I think he's going to kick inside. A lot of these tackles are going to have to kick inside because of their arm lengths. And what I saw on tape with Chase London, he can run to the next level. I think he's a perfect fit for this scheme. And plus, he was a former teammate of Christian Haynes. And when what you see on tape with Chase London, he could get to the second level and he could just maul people. And when you plug him into this scheme, I think he could be a perfect fit. So, 93, I took Ty Robinson out of Nebraska. He had 7 sacks, as an interior defensive tackle at Nebraska. He plays with high motor, plays with violence, plays with aggression. That's what I like on defense. You could plug him in at the nose tackle. You could plug him in at 3 tech, 5 tech, 1 tech. You could plug him anywhere on the defensive line. You got to add a strength to a strength. That's where I come back to Mike Green. You could plug in Mike Green. You could plug in Ty Robinson on that defensive line. I think that there's going to be a lot of aggression. And I know teams could be pretty scared. But at the same time, it takes the proper development, you know, and, proper technique and proper coaching. and they can have a chance to become blue chip players. So, at number 21, I took Jack Kaiser. I really like Jack Kaiser. He played at the University of Notre Dame. I watched a lot of Notre Dame games this past season, and I think he could be that third linebacker, you know, when you need him at coverage. I think that he could be that third linebacker because I'm just not confident in Drake Thomas, in my opinion. I think Drake Thomas could just be that fourth linebacker, put like that special teams. I mean, you could put Kaiser at special teams as well, but if I want to take a guess, if I want to make a guess, who I want as that third linebacker, I would take Jack Kaiser over Drake Thomas any day. 137, I took Riley Leonard. I took Riley Leonard because I think Riley Leonard can be a perfect quarterback for this scheme. At the combine, I did see some improvement on his throwing mechanics. That still needs to get worked on. But what I saw from the combine, he's actually worked on it. He's a leader. He led Notre Dame to the national championship. Led them to key wins, in the playoffs or whatnot. Even though they done ran into just a powerhouse of the Ohio State Buckeyes team. Showed a lot of grit, showed a lot of toughness, strength, and I think that he could be really, really competitive. If they draft a quarterback this year, if the Seahawks draft a quarterback this year, it's to compete with Sam Howell. Because I have been saying this in other previous videos. I don't believe in Sam Howell for once. That there's a reason why Washington moved off of him and took Jake Daniels instead. And yeah, the Packers game was literally a confirmation of that as well. So, 138, I took Jamari Caldwell, the nose tackle out of Oregon. I really did this because one, the Seahawks need a nose tackle. I really don't want Byron Murphy to play nose tackle as much. I kind of want him at the three technique. I want Byron Murphy moved around the line a lot. And Jamari Caldwell, he could eat double teams. And not only that, like a nose tackle is really, really something that the Seahawks really, really need in this draft. So, yeah. Okay, so 172, I took Jackson Hall's ass kicker of a blocker. Really great blocker. You can add you some depth at tight end. Because me personally, I don't see Noah Fant on this team after the draft. I'll be really surprised if he is. But yeah. So 175, I took Robert Longerbeam out of the Rutgers. A leader, culture setter. He is 5'11", but I think that he can really, really have a chance to compete for a starting job. Because me personally, I have a sneaky feeling that either Reek Woolen gets traded or Reek Woolen will have to compete for his job. So at 223, I took Bryce Cabodu out of Kansas. get you some depth on that old line. You could kick him inside a guard. At 234, I took Jalen Travis out of Iowa State. He is a 6'8", 330. He has the athleticism. I think you could potentially have him as a swing tackle. We got to see how he does at the right side. Like, is he more of a swing tackle or is he more so of a pure left tackle? That has got to be the question that will have to be answered about him. But me personally, in my opinion, if you want to take Jalen Travis, it will be more so of a potential of him being an actual swing tackle. And then at 254, took Cameron Silman-Cragg. Add you some depth on that safety position because me personally, you can have a third safety. And plus, gotta find somebody to replace Rayshawn Jenkins and Kevon Wallace. And I think that Cameron Silman-Cragg, he's a real leader. He hammers people. I know there is stuff in his game that he does need to work on. But me personally, I don't see the Seahawks taking Shiloh Sanders because I just think that Shiloh Sanders I think Shiloh Sanders is more so of a project more than anything. Well, yeah. So that is my Seahawks mock draft 2.0. You know, how do you feel about, my mock draft, my second mock draft? If you like it, you know, leave a comment down below. I'd love to engage with you guys. And hey, I'm going to make the free agency recap on my next video. So if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Till the next time, I'm signing out. Peace.